One of Elden Ring's new Nightfare's Scholar is a support character with a bite. GameSpot had the exclusive opportunity to play Elden Ring Nightreign's DLC, The Forsaken Hollows, early. We spent the entire day testing out the two new characters, the Scholar and the Undertaker, and in this video, we're going to break down the Scholar. Be sure to check out our other video on the Undertaker afterward. Scholar traveled to Limveld to seek knowledge and catalog his experiences. He favors a tactical approach and succeeds when other characters are pulling aggro away from him so he can analyze foes. He favors thrusting swords and has S-tier scaling in Arcane with Bs in HP, FP, and Stamina. His weakest stat is Strength, which sits at a D, so Arcane Dex weapons are his best friend. Scholar's passive skill Bagcraft is perhaps his most interesting mechanic. Consumable stacks are increased, and consumable categories can be leveled up twice during a match. The first level up improves an item's strength or effectiveness, while the second can add a secondary effect. You can level up items by repeatedly using them, and how long it takes to level them up seems to depend on the item. Thankfully, you don't level up individual consumables, but rather categories. For example, if you toss some fire pots and level it up, all pots will benefit. There are a lot of consumables in Elden Ring Nightreign, and we didn't test them all, but they can result in more potent healing items and stronger offensive items that have better areas of effects or additional status effects. In order to make the most of this ability, you should be item spamming. I even equipped some relics that had Scholars start with consumables just so I could level them up right out of the gate. His character skill called Analyze does exactly that. Scholar can analyze enemies and allies in order to issue buffs and debuffs. Upon activating his character's skill, he lowers his weapon, making you vulnerable, and a big circle appears on the screen, which you can aim. Enemies and allies within that circle will be analyzed, and the longer you analyze, the more buffs and debuffs stack. Once complete, you can either pull left trigger to nerf an enemy's attack or right trigger to give your allies a stamina buff. A level 1 buff increases your stamina, and a level 3 gives you a barrier that activates a shockwave when hit. A level 1 debuff decreases an enemy's attack, and at level 3 they take extra damage on their next hit. However, analyzing enemies isn't instantaneous. The speed depends on how close you are to an enemy. The smaller the gap between you and the enemy, the quicker you can analyze it. High risk, higher reward. The key is to analyze multiple enemies and allies at once, effectively crippling entire groups if you manage to capture them all in one circle. This character skill is especially useful for the new Day 3 boss, the Balancers. We weren't allowed to capture footage of this boss, but as the trailer teased, you will be fighting multiple enemies at once. Scholar's ultimate art, Communion, links all nearby enemies and allies together. If one takes damage, then every linked one also takes damage. Additionally, any healing items used in the area are shared between all Nightfarers. It's a powerful skill that can easily take down multi-enemy bosses and larger groups of enemies and improves the team's survivability. Another ability that could be invaluable against the new Day 3 boss. Unfortunately, we weren't able to test out any Scholar-specific relics, but we were able to see what they were. They are as follows: prevent slowing of character skill progress, allies targeted by character skill gain boosted attack, earn runes for each additional specimen acquired with character skill, and continuous damage inflicted on targets threaded by ultimate art. We don't know exactly how these work in context, but I can tell you I am absolutely going to use the one that boosts allies' attacks. Based on our experience, it seems like Scholar could pair nicely with almost any Nightfare, but he's at his most useful against multi-enemy bosses. If you know you're going to fight the new boss, Gladius, or Everdark Libra, then he could prove invaluable. That said, I don't think there will ever be a situation where having multiple Scholars in an expedition is useful. Like Guardian, he can assist the team in a lot of ways, but he doesn't have the damage output to carry a run, like Wilder or the other new Nightfarer, Undertaker. Be sure to check out Lucy's breakdown on Undertaker or our overall impressions on the Forsaken Hollows DLC next.